Okay, so we're going to start on page Lamed Vav. We had read number 13, number Yud Gimel at the top. We're going to read it again, go through over to the end of this particular piece again, and then we're going to look at number Yud Daled in regards to, that is in the Tiv, as regards to the creation of a Kli. So he says, "Va'inyan kibavadai hu shebechinas ha-Kli hoy b'koyach." There was always the possibility, the potential of the creation of a Kli was always there. Or even though that it wasn't acting as a Kli within the mouth, within the light that comes out of the mouth of Ak, it didn't look like a Kli. Why? Because it is, in fact, a different aspect of the light. There's only one light, but the light has a spectrum to it. It has a part of the light is more refined, or it's lighter, and it's closer to nothing, which is closer to the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And then there's also a part of it which is thicker and heavier. But these two lights were mixed up so well that you could never know which one was which. So therefore the aspect which is going to be called a Kli was not revealed. As the light goes out either from the mouth, going outwards, everything is completely mixed up. Now, like tshuva, this light wants to come back to its maker, which is, in this case, we understand it, use the idea of a pada'ak. It wants to go back to where it came from because it wants to be complete. It's flawed, so it wants to complete itself, and this is an aspect of this light was created by the Matzal himself. So that the thicker part of the light, as the light comes out of the mouth of Ak, and the thicker part of it is going to become more physical. Why? Because it's getting further away from its source. Kana ata obvious yoser, so it gets thicker. But so since it's gotten thicker, let's use another idea. He only says the word thick. But let's suppose that thick could mean, in this case, it's heavier. Or it's something about it that made it further away from being able to get back to the Pada'ak. The nipshap, so then what happens is that you have within this light a certain element of the light which is heavier. We use that for metaphor. And another part which is more refined and very similar to where it came from. The nipshat or hazak mimano. So what happens is it loses the covering that it had, or the mixture that it had, with the more refined light. Va'alo el makoro kaniskar, the refined light then goes up to the place that it came from, which is in the Pada'ak. So then what happens is that the light which was left behind, which is the heavier, the thicker, or the more physical part of the light, it gets even more thick. He says his word, so as thick as it was, it gets even more thick. And then what happens is that then the aspect of a Kli, now you could start to see, you could see it as the light is moving back, and the rest of this, not all of it, but a great deal of this will be talking about the detail of how it is that they separated the mechanism that this goes by, or how we work this light. Now let's look at number 14 in the Tiv in the light print. The Tiv writes, "Fa'ata nivoyer heich nishavu al-Kli del-Kudim." Now we're going to talk about how it is that the light, the Kli of a Kudim, is created. So since when the light came out of Ak, the Matzal sent it out not complete. Now, he doesn't give us an idea what he means by not complete exactly, but that's what it is. He says it's not complete. So therefore, in order for that light to create, to achieve completeness, it has to go back to its source in the Pada'ak. Like I said before, it's like tshuva. So that they go back into the Pada'ak to become completed. והנה הסבויר למעלה שישנו שלושה חילוקים מדרגת בבחינת האורוז שהם one. So that there are three different divisions within and levels within this light, and they are one. Pnimius ha'or shebetoch ak. So this light is inside of ak, it's going to come out. So the interior part of this light, in other words, a part that's inside of ak, which is closer to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, Shuhu Chut Ein Sof, because actually the Pnimius of the whole thing is the thread, the string of the Ein Sof. This is the most high level of that you could reach. Is actually being that let's say that this light can reach. Base is Gufat Ak. Now you look at Ak, and Ak is a body. This is going to be the lowest level. So now we have one level, which is the Pnimius of Ak, and we say that light is next to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And to get that tremendous amount of light there. Then the lowest level of light would be the body of Ak. And here we're talking about that level of light which is glowing from the walls of the body of Ak. Just like we have pores, and we're going to see this as we go on, it says that just like we have pores, there are lights that come out of the body of Ak. The fact is that that light itself is from the Pnimius of Ak. But since it's coming out of the glowing out from the body of Ak, in other words, it's getting further away from Ak, and also Ak is up and down. So the highest part of the Ak, as we had said previously, is going to be the tallest part. Let's say the top of Ak is going to be the most refined part, and as you go down into the body, it's getting further away from that. So therefore, as a result of the glow, this glow that's coming out of Ak is going to be thicker than anything that was inside. And as a result of that, it's going to be much weaker. Weaker in which sense? Not weaker in the sense that we can't see it as well. No. Everything here is opposites. So the opposite is that it's coming thicker. And as a result of that, its refinement is not seen. So they said the Madrega Mutza, so the Madregas or Mutza, the middle Madrega of this light, Bepenimios Ak, the goof of the Ak, and there's a level that's between the goof, the glow that's coming from the goof of Ak, and the ultimate light of the Ein Sof, which is inside of Ak. Zeho Orcha Yotze Bepenimios Ak, this light now that's coming out of Ak, Kevin Shum is Avabitziasa Lachutz, and we know that as it goes out of Ak, it becomes thicker. Gordam Shechedek Ha'av V'Hagash B'Tochum is Avav Ivui Yozer. So now we're going to talk really about the light that's coming out of the mouth of Ak, and as it gets away from Ak, it gets thicker. It can't go back inside of the mouth of Ak. It's too heavy, too physical. It's out of line with the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. But then there's another aspect of the light, which is light that's much, much closer to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, that he says that this is called the more refined light. Zach means like clear or very refined. Lo nisava kol kach, it never gets, even though it's coming out of the pada'ak, but it doesn't get that physicality that the original physical part of the light got more physical. So therefore this light is able to go backwards and to enter into the Peh of Ak. So now you see there's two different kinds of light here. So there is a SHAAR in the HACHAIM, which is called Mati Velo Mati. Gets there, doesn't get there. That's what that translation is. It goes into the detail of what happens when this light goes into the Peh Ak. It's absolutely splendid to see this. But that's in the HACHAIM. Over here he just mentions with the fact that it's going in. Nifra the or chazak min the or ha'av. So we have a separation there of the light which is more refined from the light which is thicker. The or chazak choizer of the vada the Peh Ak. What goes back into the Peh Ak? The only thing that goes back there is the more refined light. The other one, the other light, the more physical light, stays in physicality. It can't go back to nothingness, towards nothingness. Because it has become tremendously more very much more thick. So therefore it's not a partner anymore with the light, which is, gosh, I lost it again, which is thicker. And I'm going to, okay, I'm going to keep going. It seems I got a call in here, and so I'm trying to work with my phone, and I'm sorry that I don't know exactly what's going on. But I'm still recording, so I'll keep recording. So that after the light, which is more refined, leaves the light, which is thicker, and then you see that the light, the thick light, is going to remain down below. So then we have 10 different aspects of light, which is thicker. 10, he said. And from those 10 different aspects of light, which are more thick, we're going to make a kli. That is the kli d'Hakudim. A kolom b'chasarach halokim, which has 10 different parts to it. He's not talking about spheros. He's saying that there's a number 10 here. That if you looked at this light now and you would see the different levels of it, there are 10 different levels, and we'll go into it in detail. Shebo asida the hislavish eses spheros d'Hakudim. That in that, the 10 spheros of Hakudim are destined to be launched. So let's see what exactly happened here. Just as a review of this idea, we had a light that came out of the pad of Ak. The light that came after the pad of Ak was actually shaded in different kinds of ways. That one part is, let's say it's darker, heavier, thicker, heavier. I don't know what the right word for it is. And then you have another part of the light which is less substantive. It has very little to it. That, of course, is closer to the Ein Sof, because the Ein Sof is nothing. So now we have the creation of two different types of lights as the light returns back into the pad of Ak. So we see that we have one part of the light can't go back. It's too heavy, it's too physical, it's too dark, whatever it is. The other part of the light goes back into the pad of Ak, where it's going to become more refined, and we will be getting into this. So we're going to do one more. Let's see if we have time to do one more. V'im tomar, so if you say, Im kem kasher yachzor ha'or chazak lered le'ispashet b'kli geberishayim. Now, what's going to happen here is that the light is going back into, that is, the refined light is going back into the pad of Ak. It's going to come back out again. But now it's going to be much more refined, because now it was back in the pad of Ak, and it achieved a certain level of shleimus, of completeness. So this light now is going to come back. So let's say v'im tomar im came kasher yachzor or chazak lered le'ispashet b'kli geberishayim. So now you have a kli here, right? Kli with 10 parts. And now you have this light that left is coming back down to the kli. Because what's the idea of a kli? The idea of a kli is to hold light. So, right, so now you have a kli, and now you have the light, and you put the light back in the kli. What happens? Yachzor v'yizakeh ha'kli. So yizdakeh ha'kli. So what happens is, because it's meeting back up with its old friend, the more refined light, it's going to start refining back the thicker light again. And it will be nullified from being the aspect of a kli. It will lose its kli quality just because what caused it to be a kli? What caused it to be a kli was that the more refined light left mixing up with it. So it's better by itself, heavy, thick, dark, whatever adjective we want to call it. And now the light, which is really bright, beautiful, or whatever that you could possibly mean, comes back and they join together. That's just like they were at the beginning. And the refined light will start refining the kli. Before you know it, the lights are going to be all mixed up together again, and this is the beginning of a kasha. And so we're going to have to explain how it is possible that the light that came back out that went up into the pad of Ak, and comes back out of the pad of Ak, how it is that it remains, the part that was down below is going to remain a kli. Because if the light is just like it was when you put the two back together again, they're going to make the same mix of heavy light and light light. They're going to come right back to be the way they used to be. So we'll get to that in the next year. Ad kan.